So I've been selling these Yoseng ukuleles for quite a while. They're finally all sold out. So I'm now just getting back to my regular diet of different ukuleles. And the first one on the menu is this Kala Teak Tri-top ukulele. So Kala is not a budget brand. It is one of the most reputable brands of ukulele. Their budget brand is Makala. Kala is the higher end. And they do ukuleles, sort of mid-range budget, beginner models up, into the 3, 4, 500s with solid instruments. This one's interesting, being that it's all teak back and sides, which is an interesting hardwood choice for a ukulele. The top is this tri-top design, mahogany, solid mahogany wings, and then this spruce centerpiece in the middle. It has a Florentine cutaway, which is somewhat unusual for ukulele. You do see them, but most of them don't have this particular shape of cutaway. And it also has electronics. The Kala branded tuner and preamp, which looks suspiciously like a Fishman, but perhaps it is, perhaps it isn't. And then it has, I forget the wood in the board, I'll post it here on the video on the screen. Bone nut and saddle, nice machined, open machine tuners with black keys. Quite a handsome little ukulele, concert size, 24-inch I believe, and nice sound. Nice blinky sound. Rings quite nicely. It's got that sort of all hardwood sound. So yeah, it's a really handsome little uke. The one thing that annoys me about this ukulele is not specific to this brand and model, but tends to be an issue with a lot of electric ukes. Because there's a harness inside of loose wiring, because it has a piezo under the bridge here, and then it wires to the jack right here. There's loose wire under here, so certain pitch you get this wire vibration, and you can shake it around and put your finger and move the wires and get rid of that, but it'll come back. You can hear it there. So these are great for playing electrically through an amp, and the electronics work great. I put new batteries in it and they work really, really nicely. However, as miking it on an acoustic setting, you might get some of that wire harnessed buzz, which is the reason why a lot of people these days don't like the preamps installed on the guitars, because of the noisy wiring harness, and also the quality of the piezo pickup. Sometimes people have a problem with. So when I record ukuleles, I tend to use a nice condenser and record them acoustically rather than through the piezo, but this is really helpful for live setting and stuff, so you don't get that feedback. Or you can do a blend of the two. That sounds really nice as well. But this is a really nice ukulele. The other thing about this ukulele, and this kind of dispels the myth that only unknown budget brands give you fret sprout. This ukulele, when I got it, had the worst fret sprout I've ever seen on a ukulele. And that's including all the unknown, unbranded, little known budget brands that I've had on this channel. These were awful. The frets, it wasn't just a burr or the tang sticking out. They protruded the fretboard by at least 1 millimeter or 2 on each side of the fretboard. So I had to get out my big bastard file, the one I only use for fret leveling and stuff like that, and I had to plane the sides of this so the metal was flush before I even adjusted the burr on the side. So that took quite a while. I mean, you should hear the sound when I dragged the file across the edges. It was just pure metal grind. So yeah, the frets were really bad on this, and that just proves that you can get that fret sprout on, you know, even branded instruments. It's not, you know, just reduced to lesser known models and stuff like that. These are reputable ukuleles, these Kalas. But the fret sprout was really bad. I actually think the ukulele, I got it on a discount. I actually think this had been returned for that reason. And when I got it and saw how bad that fret sprout was, I realized that most people, I'd say 9 out of 10 people, would have returned it, so I can't blame the person who returned it. Anyway, it's taken care of now. Another thing is the fretboard was so dry, I put some lemon oil, as much lemon oil on this fretboard as I do on a full guitar fretboard. And within 2 minutes, it sucked it all in, completely drank it up. And when I wiped it off, there's hardly any lemon oil on my rag. It all soaked into this wood. That's how dry it was, and that's probably why there was fret sprouts, because the wood completely dried out, shrank, and then the frets protruded it severely, like you couldn't play it. It would cut your hand. So that's taken care of, and now it's really nice and flush, and it plays really nicely, and it has a really nice sound as well, and the electronics work well. So you've got a preamp with volume, bass, middle, and treble, and then a little onboard tuner as well. It looks a lot like rosewood or dark walnut. Yeah, it just escaped me what wood they used on this. I'll put it in the video description. But other than that, it's a really nice finish for ukulele. Tri-top finish with the etched sound hole. Really nice bone nut and saddle. Matching bridge. Very clean, nicely done. Very handsome little ukulele with the cutaway for really good access here on the top frets as well, because that's where we all play, right? We're all doing our like fingerboard, our ukulele solos up there. So that helps. All right, another thing that annoyed me about this, no bag, no gig bag. And the listing said it did come with a gig bag, so whoever returned it kept the bag and returned it, and it wasn't caught by the seller, and then they just resold it, or at least that's what I think happened. Every once in a while I see that happening on some of these major retail sites, as people return instruments and you know, grab the goodies for themselves, and I'm surprised they get away with it, but they seem to. Anyway, this is a Kala Teak Tri-top ukulele. I don't think it has any other brand model number than that. KATKCCE is the number inside. But it's a nice little concert electric acoustic ukulele. All right, folks. See you on the next one.